Welcome on Texas football. I'm Bobby Burton, joined by Gerry Hamilton. It's time to talk a little defensive grades this afternoon. Gerry, the Longhorns, I thought they swarmed to the ball. I thought they played hard. I thought they played fast. That's something that we had talked about, particularly in the secondary. But overall, I mean, only allowing 2 field goals and 1 touchdown. And that touchdown did not come until really garbage time, mid to late fourth quarter. You could not have asked for a better defensive performance in this game. They shut down or at least minimized the Michigan run game, made them one-dimensional. And once that happened, I mean, the Texas secondary and the Texas pass rush, especially late, got after that quarterback. We'll talk about all of that and more. I want to say thank you also to our sponsor for the On Texas Football defensive grades. That is Allegiant Digital Marketing. Thank you to those guys, Chad Markham and his team. We'll talk more about them in a little bit. Gerry, let's start with the defensive line. We worried all offseason that people were going to be able to run on them. We pinpointed Michigan as a possible culprit of that. And I look at Michigan's rush stats right now, and I got to tell you, Gerry, you got to be pretty happy and smiling if you're a Texas Longhorn fan.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, look, 14 carries for 66 yards, essentially Edwards and Mullings. 14 for 66. You would have taken that and walked away on Monday. I really believe that. If you said they're only going to carry it 14 times for 66 yards, going into this game, first down run defense, I thought was absolutely key for Texas defensively. I don't know the exact numbers, but I do know that Texas defensive front, defense as a whole, did enough to control Michigan on first downs. Michigan, they had more second and longs than second and shorts in this game. And that is the goal for the Texas defense in this game, is to win on first down. And Texas won on first down. The only way you're doing that is if your front is holding the point of attack. And that includes a Baron Sorrell, who had a very good game with only showing up 1 tackle in the box score. Going into the game, we said last week against Fresno, center guard for Michigan did not play well. And they're going to have to take a big leap this week. But Texas brought it physically in this game. We've been told, Bobby, this was some of the most physical August practices Texas has had in a while. And I really think it was for this game. I think Sark was preparing this team for this game. And I think this defensive front answered the call, and they won enough on first down to where it really affected Michigan, especially after Texas got up 2 scores.
I'm looking at the stat line right now, Gerry, and Vernon Broughton, 3 tackles, 2 of which were solos. Jermaine Lole, 2 tackles. Alfred Collins, 1 tackle and a pass deflection. The interior of the defensive line, I thought, performed better. Bill Norton, I thought, looked good at times. He got stood up once or twice, but at times, again, another big body that played his role and did so fairly well. Then you start talking about the defensive ends. Trey Moore chased the quarterback a couple times, looked good doing so. Ethan Burke came in at points. Baron Sorrell, again, thought he had a really good game. I'm looking at the stat line. Baron Sorrell only had 1 tackle, but you know what? He stood his ground. And so then we'll top it off with maybe the most scintillating player of the game on defense in Colin Simmons, who records the first sack of the season for the Longhorns. He got after him and often in the second half. I mean, Colin Simmons looks like a dude, Gerry, in the making.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that is the thing I look at with Texas. We were talking about it offensively. How good can the Texas offense be? I think Texas defensively, I think you already know where they're better this year. Andrew Makuba, safety play. Derek Williams in year 2. Taff is a really good communicator, leads that communication in the role he plays. And then Jelani McDonald's coming on fast. So the safety position is vastly improved this year. Now, I'm not saying they've been tested all the way. Michigan didn't have the ability to truly test them. So it was more of a downhill game for the Texas safeties against Michigan. But they're an improved unit. And I think corner, as long as Texas can play, and I'm not sure they can play Barron at corner all year against every matchup, but in the first 2, they definitely could. Manny Muhammad is a stud at corner. Looks like a hot future draft pick. But I just, look, I think as a whole, these guys are playing at such a high level. But what gives me the most, I guess, gets me the most excited is where Colin Simmons and Trey Moore are going to be later on this season with this team and what they can provide. Because when you go up against, Oklahoma, whose offensive line is struggled again last night against U of H, and Georgia, who is more of a downhill run blocking unit, especially guard, center guard, or tackles are good. But what can this defense become to maximize? Texas maximizing defensively is going to come down to Colin Simmons and Trey Moore and just how much pass rush they can provide consistently in the key games on this schedule. And that's Oklahoma, and that is Georgia, and that will probably be at A&M.
Yeah. I'm just looking at, what happened on the defensive line, and let's start with the grades there. I want to separate them out because I want to, first of all, I would give a game ball to the interior of the defensive line because I thought they had to come today with the best that they had, and I thought they did that. And so I look at that, and I'm all in for this game. All right, the second piece, that I would say I would give them an A-, the interior of the defensive lineman, as well as a game ball, because based on expectations, I was worried in the offseason it was going to be a C. And so were you probably, Jerry, or even worse. It didn't work out that way on Saturday. The edge play, I would give a solid B+ to an A-. Again, they focused on run stopping, not necessarily getting upfield until the fourth quarter. And then when they got after it in the fourth quarter, we saw what that NASCAR package looked like, and they got after him. So, no, they only got one sack, but I thought both the interior and the exterior of the defensive line looked really, really good.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm going to go solid A on the interior D-line. Again, Michigan rushing the football at 23 carries for 80 yards, okay? If we said 23 for 80 against Michigan, you would take it all day.
Yes.
We'd have taken it all summer. We'd have taken it Monday through Friday. So, yeah, you got to give the defensive front an A as a whole against the run. I think the edge position, we'll get into that. But interior defensive line, I give them a solid A.
All right. What about the edge? What about the edge guys? Colin Simmons, Trey Moore, Ethan Burke, Justice Finkley, those guys. What did you think of their play? Because I'm of the opinion that they helped as much in the run game as anything. And, they didn't get bowled over.
No.
They kept everything inside of them. Big fan of what Texas did from the edges as well.
Yeah, I give them an A as well. Look, and it's easy to pass out A's after this game, but I think Barron Sorrell was a terrific 3 quarterback hurries. He only had 1 tackle, but he does more than what's in a box score. He holds the point of attack. He brings physicality. He brings toughness. He brings motor. The 3 quarterback hurries yesterday. I mean, then Colin Simmons, you're seeing Trey Moore begin to have more of an effect on these games, a little bit more. Colin Simmons definitely coming on. Ethan Burke doing his job. It may not be the big numbers in terms of tackles and sacks early on in the season, but the job they're being asked to do, they're executing. So I'm not sure how you don't give them an A. Michigan had how many yards at half? 79, Bobby. Well, how many yards did they have after 3 quarters when Sark shut it down? What I mean, seriously, what did Michigan have? They had 284 yards in the game. What they have, 165 after 3 quarters? How do you not give them all an A?
Yeah, you're speaking a little truth here. Hey, before we go on to linebackers, who I thought played a whale of a game too, by the way, I want to say thank you to our friend Chad Markham over at Allegiant Digital Marketing. He and his team give you an opportunity to really find new customers, create consistent leads, and use marketing services to promote your business that actually work. It is an Austin-based ad agency that has helped thousands of business owners just like you, if you own one, for more than 25 years conquer some of these same challenges. If you are ready to start making money in your business and grow with confidence, visit allegiantdigital.com/on Texas football and get a free marketing plan. That's right, it's free. Plus, you can save up to $2,500 in advertising with their Hook 'em Horns special today. Congratulations to Chad and his team. They just signed a big client. I don't want to give it away, but I'm happy for them. Good for them over at Allegiant Digital. All right, hey, congratulations also to the Texas Longhorn linebackers, Jerry.
Yeah.
Again, same as the interior defensive lineman. Is Anthony Hill going to be there? Is David Benda going to be there? Are they going to be good enough to handle it? I mean, they were. Period. Played smart, played hard, played with effort. They were not a weak spot. In fact, I think they may have been a team strength. Just really good-looking group against Michigan on Saturday.
Yes. David Benda, 7 tackles, half tackle for loss. Anthony Hill, 6, same. So that's 13 tackles and a tackle for loss combined. Maurice Blackwell, 4 tackles. Leon Lafau, 3 tackles. Always looks good when he's in. You know, a youngster like Ty Anthony Smith comes in and runs around like he's going to be a really good football player. They drop a Colin Simmons or a Trey Moore in coverage. They had an impact. That Trey Moore had a reroute right into Makuba for a pass breakup against Colton Loveland. Everybody's doing their job. They didn't have the run fit issues maybe they had a couple of times against Colorado State, the leaky plays Sark had it. Do these guys play perfect? No. It's hard to play perfect when other teams have good players too. But again, I'm going to give them a solid A because there weren't any major busts. There wasn't anything you could look at, Bobby, and say, that could have cost you the game. You can't point to anything that happened for the Texas defense that said that could have cost you the game. Hell, you can't even say anything that could have cost you the momentum. So it's hard not to give guys an A. Now, are they tested all the way like a Georgia may test them, or you come across a team that may be able to get them in some matchups? Probably not. Colston Loveland had 8 for 70, but, you know, look, he's a first-round pick at tight end. He's the best tight end Texas played the best tight end they're going to go up against. He had 8 for 70. He didn't dominate that game. He didn't score touchdowns. He didn't make huge plays. He had one great catch. Yeah, he's a great player. But nothing happened in this game that would make you say, these guys didn't have a good game. That could have really cost Texas. So how do you not give these guys an A?
You're just handing out A's all over the place, bud. But here's what I would add to that. To your point, both linebackers led the team in tackles. 7 by Benda, 6 by Hill. They answered the bell. You said that as well, and I agree with it 100%. I'm going to give them an A-. Look, I don't even know what to say right now because when I look at this game and think back of it, David Benda and Anthony Hill just played a smart, intelligent football game and helped Texas win. Bottom line, say whatever else you want. The real star of this game, though, in my opinion, was the secondary. Now, maybe that's because they're playing a quarterback that is not an elite level quarterback. You got to give that. But man, Texas just seemed like they were around the ball more, Jerry. They played tighter coverage. They looked intelligent. They played smart. They wrapped up. I mean, they had one missed tackle that I saw all game, and that was a Jahdae Barron versus Colston Loveland, where the guy makes a hurdle, of a defensive back. Those are going to happen because the other guys are good. My point being, Sark has changed the offense, and he's connecting in the red zone right now. I'm not so sure PK and Johnny Nansen haven't done the same with this secondary group. And I want to add this, which is really important. I wonder how much not only Blake Gideon and Terry Joseph being back there in that secondary, but also Scotty Hazelton.
I agree. I was going to bring that up
on the corner / nickelbacks because Jalen Gilbo 5 tackles. Jahdae Barron looks like he's all over the place. They've got 5 or 6 DBs right now that are playing at a really, really high level.
Yes. I'm giving these guys an A+. Now, Michigan couldn't really test them over the top. But 2 interceptions, fumble recovery. Like a simple play it looks like on TV. But again, Trey Moore drops in the coverage, reroutes Loveland inside. Makuba's there for the pass breakup. I think they're all playing their roles extremely well, and you can only do that if you have really good communication. So whether that's Taff and Makuba working together, whether it's Taff, Makuba, and Derek Williams and Jahdae Barron, they're all tying it together. A secondary has to be tied together from a communication standpoint, else there's going to be breakdowns everywhere. So I think the communication is much better with the secondary so far this year. And again, they haven't faced a Berry and Brown with a team that actually can run the football. I'm not saying Kentucky can. They lost to South Carolina yesterday. I'm just saying for instance. But you got to take it for what we've seen so far. And what we've seen so far is safety's the most improved position in the program. Because with the addition of Makuba, Derek Williams year 2, Michael Taff year 3, and Jelani McDonald has really taken major steps in this program. He was learning a position last year. Now he's come so far that Scotty Hazelton and these guys will stick him out at nickel. That's a lot of growth in a short amount of time for Jelani McDonald. So I'm going A+ in the secondary. And Manny Muhammad's Manny Muhammad's a tremendous corner. Jahdae Barron, Gavin Holmes. I think everybody's made plays this year. They've been opportune again. So I don't see how I don't give these guys an A+ based on what we've seen so far in the game. The game yesterday, certainly combine it with the Colorado State game. I mean, they get an A+ for 2 games for me now.
Yeah, I'm giving them an A for sure. Some issues in the second half, especially when the quarterback got out of the pocket.
Started playing off. Yeah, they started playing off. They weren't playing as aggressive.
I agree. And they were letting the quarterback get out of the pocket as well. So that's not on them. That's on the front.
Right.
I get it. Look, my overall grade for the defense though is going to be different, and it'll be different for the coaches too. I gave them an A+.
Yeah,
because I don't know. Here's my point. I don't know that any one portion of this defense was just lights out beyond. Maybe the secondary was for the first time. But the cumulative effect, they executed the game plan. And we always talk about what's the term? Complementary football.
Yeah.
Was that not the absolute definition of complementary football on Saturday? Because that's what it felt like to me. Offense got out and scored, got the ball out to the edges, etc. The defense then got them into third and medium, and the secondary made plays.
Yeah, I have to give
that's complementary football, and that's partially part of that is coaching and thinking that through and then executing. And for me, Jerry, at least, I really loved what I saw from the Longhorns on Saturday. It felt like a team that was gluing together, coming together. Now, you can go beat Colorado State 52-0 and say that. But when you go to Michigan and play in front of 111 and you hold them without a touchdown into the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
That's a little different. I don't care who their quarterback is.
Now, you got to take it for what the game plan was, how they executed the game plan. Were they opportune? Did they tackle well? Did they bring the physicality on the road against the program that is traditionally one of the most physical teams in college football? They did all of that. They stopped the 23-game winning streak. They made Michigan feel like they were getting their butt kicked on both sides of the ball. You can only do that if you're physical and you execute. And if you physical and execute on the road, against a team that have won 16 in a row and 23 straight, 41-3 over 44 games. I don't care how much the teams change. Say the same thing I said about the offense. That the Texas offense against the Michigan defense. The Michigan offense did not walk out from under the tunnel and start warming up thinking they were going to have 70 yards at halftime and weren't going to cross 200 yards until the fourth quarter. You got to give them an A+ for the effort. And the execution of the game plan Saturday. Does that mean Texas is going to be a top 5 ranked defense in college football this year? It's too early to say that. But what we can say is they've executed 2 game plans beautifully well, and they've been physical doing it.
They've got to have confidence in their coaches right now too.
Yeah.
Because they're putting them in positions to succeed.
Yeah.
I mean, success breeds confidence in that way. And for 2 consecutive weeks, I think they've had a really good game plan for their opponents, and that will allow them to lean in even more. But before I get to the final question, Jerry, that I have here for you on these offensive or these defensive grades, I want to say thank you to our sponsor one last time. If you're looking for ways to grow your business and save up to $2,500 in advertising, visit allegiantdigital.com/ontexasfootball. Visit Allegiant Digital Marketing today. They are a tremendous group for more than 25 years. Allegiant Digital CEO Chad Markham, a UT grad and instructor of the Digital Marketing Boot Camp here at UT Austin, has helped thousands of businesses get better at marketing themselves. Take advantage of their Hook 'em Horns special and save up to $2,500 in advertising. Visit allegiantdigital.com/ontexasfootball to learn more today. Jerry, last question I have for you. This defense, is it you mentioned the top 5 ranking? In your opinion, you didn't know what they were. I don't care what that label is. Is this defense good enough for Texas to win every game this season, in your opinion?
I still don't know about that, but I think they're good enough to, if the offense has an off game, keep them in it. Now, I still think there's going to be determined. Now, it may be Georgia's offensive line, guard, center, guard. That's like nothing Texas will have faced guard, center, guard this year. That maybe that's the one team that can have some success and has enough speed at running back, by the way, and a quarterback. And maybe that's the only team on this schedule, because Texas doesn't play Ole Miss. They don't play Missouri. Oklahoma does not look good on offense right now. A&M, unless they make a quarterback change, I'm not sure how good they're going to be on offense. Kentucky's got injury issues. They lost at South Carolina yesterday. Mississippi State struggling. I mean, so you look at this schedule, Vanderbilt's got a playmaker, but Texas is going to whip them up front over the course of a game. This defense is good enough to give Texas a chance to win every game. And the way I kind of look at a defense is, if your offense has a bad day, if you have a couple of turnovers in a game, are you good enough to give your offense second opportunities? And I do think Texas defense is that. What they do against Georgia, maybe Georgia has an elite offensive line and guard, center, guard. They're just really, really good. And then you just tip your cap and move on. But I do think Texas defense is good enough this year to give them an opportunity to win every game. I don't think we're ever going to look at this team defensively and say, wow, we didn't have a shot because of the defense today.
Fair stuff. All right. That's going to do it for the defensive grades. We'll be back later today. We got the rewatch with Rod. You've already seen the offensive grades. We also have a live stream tonight at 7:00. For Gerry Hamilton, I'm Bobby Burton. Thank you also to our sponsor, Allegiant Digital Marketing. This has been Defensive Grades on Texas Football for the Texas 31-12 win over the University of Michigan. Hook 'em.